Welcome back to our channel US Coins World. Today, we're diving into the world of rare state $quarter coins. Some of these could be worth a small fortune. If you've got quarters lying around, you won't want to miss this. Let's find out if you're sitting on hidden treasure. So let's continue our today's video on Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and fascinating world of the 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter. Now, at first glance, it looks like any other quarter. It might even be sitting in your pocket right now. But by the end of this video, you'll realize why some versions of this coin are being hunted by collectors all over the world, and why one specific version is valued at a truly jaw-dropping amount. Let's begin with a bit of background. In 1999, the United States Mint launched a groundbreaking series, the 50 State Quarters program. It was an effort to honor each state with a unique design, and Pennsylvania was the second state to be featured in the series. Millions of these coins were struck, and they quickly entered circulation, passed from hand to hand without much thought. But not all of them were created equal. The Pennsylvania quarter features a beautiful design that highlights the state's rich history. You'll see an outline of the state, a keystone symbol representing Pennsylvania's nickname as the Keystone State, and a statue of the Commonwealth. It's a striking design, and one that holds deep meaning for many proud Pennsylvanians, but here's where things start to get really interesting. Some of these 1999 quarters were struck with errors. These aren't just minor flaws, these are minting mistakes that make a collector's heart race. Some of the rare errors include off-center strikes, missing layers, double dies, and even misaligned prints. One of the most fascinating errors found in the Pennsylvania quarter is the double die reverse, where the design elements on the back of the coin appear slightly doubled, creating a ghost-like effect that makes the coin look almost 3D. Another extremely rare variety includes quarters that were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was struck using the metal blank intended for another coin, like a dime. Imagine holding a quarter that's the size and weight of a dime, but with Pennsylvania's bold design. That kind of mint error is incredibly rare and can fetch a serious price among collectors. So why do these errors matter so much? It all comes down to scarcity and demand. Mint errors are often caught early and destroyed, which means very few of them ever make it into circulation. The fewer there are, the more valuable they become. And when collectors get wind of a rare error, the hunt is on. Suddenly, a 25-cent piece becomes a prized possession worth thousands, or more. Condition also plays a major role. If the coin is in brilliant uncirculated condition, with sharp details and a flawless surface, its value skyrockets. Coins that have been carefully preserved, untouched by years of handling or pocket wear, are the ones that bring in the biggest bucks. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for. You might be wondering just how much a coin like this could be worth. So, listen closely. If you're lucky enough to own a 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter with a rare mint error, and it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be holding a coin worth $87,000. Yes, you heard that right, $87,000. For a single quarter. So don't dismiss that loose change lying around. That little coin could be your next big treasure. Check your old coin jars, flip through your pocket change, and take a closer look at any Pennsylvania quarters from 1999. Who knows? You just might strike gold. Top 2. We're talking about a modern quarter. Yes, a coin from just 2015, that has become one of the most sought-after quarters among collectors. This is the Saratoga quarter, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a 25-cent coin the same way again. Now you might be thinking, how could a coin from just a few years ago be worth anything more than its face value? That's exactly what makes this coin so special. While millions of Saratoga quarters were produced and released into circulation, only a rare few have certain features, tiny mistakes made at the US Mint, that have transformed them into coins worth thousands of times their original value. Let's start with the story behind the coin. The 2015 Saratoga quarter was issued as part of the America the Beautiful series, which began in 2010 and celebrated national parks and historic sites from every state. The Saratoga quarter honors the historic turning point of the American Revolutionary War, the surrender of British General Burgoyne to American General Gates at the Battle of Saratoga in 1777. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a symbolic image, two hands exchanging a sword, one hand British, the other American. It's a moment of peace, victory, and the birth of a nation. Now, onto what makes this quarter worth hunting for. Most of these coins are worth just 25 cents. But a rare few contain minting errors that make them highly collectible and extremely valuable. Some error types found in Saratoga quarters include double die obverse and reverse, where parts of the design appear slightly doubled, especially around the date, the inscriptions, or even in the sword itself. These doubling effects are the result of a misalignment during the striking process and are almost always considered a major find. Even rarer are quarters that were struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a Saratoga quarter that was accidentally stamped on a blank intended for a nickel or dime. The size, color, or weight would be off, and if you're lucky enough to find one of these mismatched planchets, you've got a coin that's incredibly rare. Then there are off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and coins with missing elements due to grease or die failure during minting. These may seem like tiny imperfections, but in the collector's market, they represent uniqueness, and uniqueness is what drives value sky high. The key is condition. A coin with an error is already rare, but if it's also in uncirculated or near mint condition, its value multiplies. Coins that have never been handled, kept safely in rolls or mint sets, or discovered early on before they could be worn down, these are the ones that can change a collector's life. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to find a 2015 Saratoga quarter with a rare mint error, preserved in exceptional condition, you may be holding a coin worth $85,000. That's right, $85,000 for a single quarter. So before you spend that change or toss it into a coin jar, take a closer look. Especially if you've got a 2015 quarter in your hand with the historic Saratoga design. Flip it over, examine the details, and pay attention to any signs of doubling, misalignment, or unusual weight or texture. What might seem like an ordinary coin could be a one-of-a-kind treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 3. We're talking about the very first coin in one of the most iconic US coin series ever released, the 1999 Delaware State Quarter. And believe it or not, one rare version of this humble little coin has been valued at a staggering amount, so stick around, because you won't want to miss this. Let's go back to the year 1999. It was the start of something historic in the world of American coins, the 50 state quarters program. The US Mint had launched an ambitious plan to release a unique quarter for each state, one at a time, over the span of a decade. The very first state to be honored was Delaware, the first state to ratify the US Constitution. And fittingly, the Delaware quarter kicked off this groundbreaking series. The reverse of the coin features Caesar Rodney, an American patriot, on horseback. He's remembered for his legendary 70-mile ride through a thunderstorm to cast the decisive vote for American independence. His image on the coin isn't just a symbol of Delaware's place in history, it's a tribute to bravery, determination, and the founding spirit of the nation. But what turns this coin from a historical memento into a potential goldmine isn't just its design, it's what went wrong during the minting process. Most Delaware quarters are worth, well, 25 cents. They were produced in huge numbers and circulated everywhere. But in that first year of minting excitement, a few errors slipped through, and those rare error coins are what collectors dream about. One of the most sought-after errors is the spitting horse error. Yes, you heard that right. It's a small die break, just a tiny line, appearing near the horse's mouth, making it look like the horse is spitting. It may sound funny, but this quirky mistake has caught the attention of collectors across the country. Then there are the more dramatic minting errors, like double die strikes, where parts of the design, such as the lettering or Caesar Rodney's figure, appear slightly doubled. These errors happen when the coin is struck more than once out of alignment, and they can be extremely valuable. Some Delaware quarters have also been found struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were minted on a metal blank intended for another denomination. These errors are incredibly rare and, when combined with high-grade condition, can send the value of the coin soaring. And let's not forget about condition. A Delaware quarter with a rare error that's also in mint state, meaning it's uncirculated and shows no signs of wear, is the collector's jackpot. The cleaner and sharper the details, the more desirable the coin becomes. Serious collectors will pay a premium for a coin that has been perfectly preserved for decades. So now, the question you've been waiting for: How much can one of these rare Delaware quarters actually be worth? Well, if you're fortunate enough to have a 1999 Delaware state quarter with a significant mint error, in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be holding a coin worth $83,000. That's right, $83,000 for a quarter that might have once slipped through your fingers without a second thought. So the next time you're sorting through your change or digging through an old coin jar, pay close attention. Look closely at those Delaware quarters from 1999. Check for odd lines, doubling, or anything that seems just a bit off. That spitting horse might just turn out to be a prize winner. Top 4. We're going to explore a coin that you might have passed over 1,000 times, a coin that sits quietly in pockets and drawers across the country, but could be worth a small fortune. That's right, we're talking about the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter. It might be worth just 25 cents to most people, but if you stick around to the end of this video, you'll learn why one special version of this coin could be worth an eye-widening amount. Let's start by talking about where this coin fits in history. The Kentucky Quarter was the 15th release in the wildly popular 50-state quarters program by the U.S. Mint. Released in 2001, this coin pays tribute to Kentucky's rich heritage and frontier spirit. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a beautifully detailed image of Federal Hill, the historic mansion that inspired the song, My Old Kentucky Home. In the foreground, there's a majestic thoroughbred horse behind a wooden fence, symbolizing Kentucky's deep connection to horse racing and its legendary bluegrass pastures. It's a stunning design, no doubt. But as every seasoned collector knows, beauty is just one part of the story. What really gets hearts racing are the rare minting errors, and that's exactly what takes the 2001 Kentucky Quarter from common to collectible, and in some extraordinary cases, from collectible to incredibly valuable. Now, let's talk about these errors. While millions of Kentucky quarters were struck and circulated, a very small number came out of the mint with mistakes. And it's those mistakes that can turn a simple coin into a priceless piece of history. One of the most fascinating errors seen in Kentucky quarters is the double die error. This occurs when the die that stamps the coin design hits the planchet twice, but slightly out of alignment. The result? Doubling in the text or imagery, especially around the date, state name, or even the lines of the mansion and horse. These are not easy to spot, but if you see a slight shadow or duplication on the lettering, you might just be holding one of these rare beauties. Another error that sends collectors into a frenzy is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during striking, causing the design to be pushed to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. The more dramatic the shift, the rarer, and more valuable, the coin becomes. And then there are wrong planchet errors. These are especially exciting. Imagine a Kentucky quarter that was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a dime, a penny, or even a foreign coin. The weight, size, or metal content might be off, and the result is a coin that simply shouldn't exist. These types of errors are incredibly rare and can fetch astonishing prices. Now, just having an error isn't enough to hit the jackpot. The condition of the coin matters a lot. If the coin is in mint state, meaning it hasn't been in circulation and has no signs of wear, its value increases exponentially. Coins preserved in protective cases, untouched since the day they were minted, are considered the cream of the crop by collectors, and this is what separates a few dollars of value from a true life-changing discovery. So let's get to the part you've been waiting for. If you happen to have a 2001 Kentucky State Quarter with one of these rare mint errors, especially a double die or wrong planchet error, and it's in brilliant, uncirculated condition, then congratulations. You may be holding a coin worth $80,000, yes, you heard that right. $80,000. For one single quarter. This is why collectors constantly check their change. It's why we search through old jars, dusty drawers, and forgotten coin rolls. Because every so often, a little piece of overlooked metal turns out to be a hidden treasure. So take a moment today, look through your quarters. Pay extra attention to those Kentucky coins from 2001. Examine every detail, every letter, every line. You might just be staring at something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Top 5. We're talking about the 2003 Arkansas State Quarter, a coin that doesn't just celebrate a state's natural beauty, but in some rare cases, carries a secret that could make it worth tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 25-cent piece from 2003 could be your next big discovery. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll learn why this Arkansas quarter is so special, what to look for, and how you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. Let's start with the coin's design. Released as the 25th coin in the U.S. Mint's legendary 50-state quarters program, the Arkansas quarter is a beautiful tribute to the state's nickname, the natural state. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a soaring mallard duck in flight, a stand of majestic pine trees, a lake with a leaping fish, and a brilliant diamond at the top of the design. Why a diamond? Because Arkansas is home to the only diamond-producing site in the United States where the public can search for, and keep, real diamonds. It's a design that tells a story of nature, freedom, and hidden treasure. And for some lucky collectors, the treasure isn't just in the artwork, it's in the coin itself. So, what makes a 2003 Arkansas quarter rare and valuable? It all comes down to minting errors. While millions of these quarters were produced, a tiny fraction left the mint with mistakes that make collectors' eyes light up. One of the most well-known errors found in some Arkansas quarters is the double die error, where parts of the design or lettering appear to be doubled. If you look closely at the word Arkansas, the date, or even the outline of the mallard, you might spot a ghost-like shadow or doubling effect. That's not your eyes playing tricks, it could be a rare mint error. Another highly sought-after error is the clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a mistake during the blank cutting process. These clipped coins are visually stunning and instantly recognizable, and because they're so unusual, collectors are willing to pay a premium. There are also examples of off-center strikes, where the coin's design is misaligned and pushed to one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal. The more dramatic the shift, the more rare and valuable the coin becomes. Even more exciting are coins struck on the wrong planchet. For example, an Arkansas quarter accidentally minted on a blank meant for a foreign coin, or even a nickel or penny. These errors are exceptionally rare and can fetch astonishing prices when authenticated, but rarity alone isn't the only factor. Condition matters a lot. A rare Arkansas quarter with a minting error is valuable, but if that same coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, free from scratches, dents, or discoloration, its value can skyrocket. These are the coins collectors dream about finding: a unique error coin, in pristine shape, quietly hiding in a roll of quarters or an old coin collection. So what's the payoff? How much could one of these coins really be worth? Here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to find a 2003 Arkansas state quarter with a rare mint error, and it's in exceptional, mint state condition, you could be holding a coin worth $77,000. That's right, $77,000. For a quarter. And the best part? These coins are still out there. They weren't locked away in museums or collector vaults. Many were sent into circulation just like any other coin, meaning there's a real chance one of them is sitting in your change right now, waiting to be discovered. So here's what you should do: go through your quarters. Look carefully at any Arkansas state quarters from 2003. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, missing edges, or unusual metal color or weight. That little detail could mean the difference between 25 cents and a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another hidden treasure story. We've got more exciting coin discoveries coming soon, and you won't want to miss a single one. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.